Well, hello again, everybody. This is Linda Sue Plants for You. Today we're going to do another potting up of my beautiful Coleus. I purchased 2 of these last weekend at Stein's Garden and Home. And these plants have a real soft spot in my heart, and I'm going to tell you the story behind it. Many years ago, I was at a church fair, carnival fair type situation, and with my husband and some friends of the family and my little baby and my antique buggy, and we had a really wonderful day, but it was a very hot day. And boy, I just loved that buggy. It was huge, and the bottom of it came up, the foot part came up, and the head part came down, so that you could really shelter whatever was in that buggy from wind, rain, sleet, snow, sun, whatever. And it was kind of heavy and hard to get in and out of the trunk, but I loved it when I had it, because then the baby could sit up, she could nap. I didn't have to worry about people running into her like I did in a stroller. I really loved that buggy. And we were getting toward the end of the day, and there was a little lady there with a tiny little card table who was selling these types of Coleus for, originally she had, I think it was $1.50 on each one, and they were in a little Dixie cup. And it was the end of the day, and she had 2 left, and she was asking $0.25. So I purchased it. It looked dead. I mean, the leaves were completely shriveled up. It was about a 4-inch tall plant, and I just really, for some reason, I was drawn to that plant, and I wanted to take it home. So I did. And I put it in the east window of our home, which was in our back hallway. And I set it on a saucer, and I put some water in it. Oh, and I got to back up here, because the reason for the buggy was when I put the plant in the buggy, it ended up getting further damaged because nobody else knew it was in there, and I thought I had it tucked in the corner safely, but it ended up dumping out in the buggy on top of everything else. So that plant just really went through, whatever. I couldn't believe that it did come back, but it did come back. The next morning, after putting it in that east window, I got up in the morning, and I was making my baby her bottle, and I went out, peeked through the kitchen door in anticipation of, yeah, I probably didn't make it, and there it was, standing straight up. Leaves looked fine. It didn't look like anything was ever wrong with it. I was so excited. So I continued to nurture it, and I kept repotting it as it grew, and I kept pinching off the top and sticking it back in soil. Eventually that plant was, I had it going up a trellis, and it was about 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet tall, and probably about 4.5 feet wide, all told. I had that plant for many years, and it became a deeper, darker color, just like the ones that you're looking at here. I don't know if you're getting that with the light on here, but it's a really deep, dark wine color. So that's the story. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but then again, I am a little crazy at times. So anyways, so I've been wanting to try to do this again. And by the way, I ended up losing that plant like several others of mine during a winter move. There was just no way to transport it without it being affected by the horrible weather we were having. So unfortunately, I no longer have that Coleus, and it's been many years since I bought another one. And you know what? I said it's time. It's time to regrow this and see if I can match the first one that I did. So that's what I'm going to do today. All right, so let's get started. I bought two, and as you can see, there is a lot of, let me get this out of the way. There's a lot of growth underneath the leaves. So it's going to be a challenge to figure out where I should pinch these back. But I'm not going to pinch them today. I'm going to let them be after I transplant them. And as they grow a little bit taller, they're probably going to get a little more leggy, I'm assuming, because I can't give them greenhouse atmosphere. So I will be pinching these back, and I will be putting them in back in the soil and making more and more plants from these. And we're going to check back periodically and see how they do, okay? All right, so let's get started. I just have two, and as you know, by the way, it's got a label on it here, if I can get it out, and it is called Coleus French Quarter. Okay, we're going to squeeze the pot like we always do and gently pull it out, and it needs water, so it is it comes out very easily. And we're going to do like we always do and pull off the old soil, although this is extremely root bound. It's got a lot of really beautiful healthy roots. I don't think I want to disturb this, and if you watched my last video, you remember I did say that I have a concern about when they put these in plugs, in these biodegradable plugs that don't always biodegrade. I don't think there's a problem with this, just based on the how healthy this plant is underneath. You can see all that new growth coming, and you can see the roots. So I am not going to disturb this any more than I have to for that reason. And that's why I always try to say that there are exceptions to everything in the plant world. I'm guilty of it myself very often. I will say I never do this, or I always do that, and if the truth be told, there is no never or always in the plant world any more than there is in life. There's always seems to be exceptions to the rule. Okay, I think that's pretty good right there. We're going to leave that like that. All I did was loosen the roots up a little bit to let them know it's time to branch out, grow up, and go out on their own. Okay. And originally I purchased a long pot to put these in. However, my trellis is not, this is not deep enough to house the trellis that I want to put in there. So instead I am going to use a deeper pot. Oh, I'm so sorry for that noise. Before I do that, I'm going to take this other one out. And again, we want to squeeze the pot. And I don't know if you noticed, but there were roots coming out the bottom of the pot. So it was definitely time. We're going to just clean that up a little bit around the base. Oh, look, there's a baby coming up. Okay, actually there's two. So that's another very good sign. We're going to just open up the bottom of this a little bit. Don't want to disrupt it too much. I can't wait to see if this grows like my first Coleus. I had so many compliments on that plant over the years. And that was back in the day where people, at least nobody in my world, brought outdoor plants and made them indoor plants. Our indoor tropical plant selection was quite limited back in the day. Not like it is today. We are so fortunate to have what we have today. Okay. I think we're good there. This is the pot I'm using. I got this pot at the Dollar Tree for $1. And as I mentioned in my last video, I am really not excited about plastic pots. Never have been. I prefer earthenware, stoneware, you know, natural products. I have a lot of terracotta. But I've been going through a lot of distilled water because our water out here, we have well water, and it varies in the salt and in the bacteria and in the minerals, and it's been playing havoc with my plants. So I've been using distilled water for more and more of my plants, and it's helping them. I'm seeing a difference. So unfortunately, that's water that we have to purchase separately, and that can become very expensive. And when you use unglazed pots, stone or terracotta, things like that, they tend to go through a lot more water because they're breathable. They dry out faster. So for some of my plants where it really doesn't matter, I am going with the cheaper clay pot, the cheaper plastic pots for now. Until I come up with a different solution. But this was $1, and you know, it's gonna work. Also, I just want to, as a reminder, and for those of you that have watched all my videos, I'm sorry to be repetitive, but for those of you that haven't seen previous videos, please remember that very oftentimes the bottom of these pots are not equal in depth, and you always want to drill your holes in the lowest part of that pot, and that's not usually where the company who made the pot is telling you where to put them. They have them here, but this middle part is actually raised up higher than this edge. So what's going to happen, water's still going to sit down in this lower spot, and you're going to get root rot. And that seems to be probably the most common cause for people to kill plants. So if you say to me, I'm not a good plant person, I kill every plant I bring home, chances are it's from overwatering or not enough light or both, but most often it's from overwatering. So, okay, that's that. All right, so let's get some dirt. I keep calling it dirt. I'm going to get in trouble for that. I'm sorry, folks. My soil, or my potting medium, I guess, is the politically correct way to say it. But I'm not politically correct. I'm just me. I'm just me. Okay. I hope I have enough soil mixed here. I don't know if I'm going to. Might need a little more. But I think that'll work right there. What do you think? How does that look? Can you see it? I gotta see. Yeah. I think it's gonna be okay. All right. And I'm using this trellis because I am going to trail this to go up this trellis just like I did my last one. I think I'm going to have to get this through here first. And that's because it's a very established stem. The stem is very thick on it already. But as it's growing, I won't have to worry about breaking it when I run it up through there. So. And just as a reminder, you don't want to push down too hard on your roots because you don't want to smother them, although they do need oxygen. If you press down too hard, you run the risk of tearing or breaking the roots. On the other hand, if you don't press down hard enough, you run the risk of having air pockets. Excuse me. And if you have too big of an air pocket and there is no soil around those roots, they won't get water. That, however, is very rare. Usually, the problem is the other way around, so I don't worry too much about that, but it is worth mentioning. And I've heard others mention that as well, so. Okay. You know what? We probably need 2 more small handfuls of potting medium here. But I am not going to hold you guys up for that because my bin is empty. I'm going to have to go mix some. And I probably won't do that until the next time I pot. But here is the finished product. And we are going to come back. I am going to come back and show this to you another day when it starts to grow up the trellis. And again, I mean, when you think about the first plant that I had that was identical to this one, and imagine that being, you know, 4 to 5 feet in width and 5 to 6 feet in height. It was just a wall of Coleus. It was just, it was beautiful. And easy. They're so easy. And they're easy to propagate as well. You can propagate them in water or soil. And I've done both, but I find that the soil method works best for me because it's just one less thing I have to keep an eye on. And maybe we'll do a video on that later, but basically you just cut above wherever the 2 leaves are coming out and take the top piece, take the bottom leaves off and stick it in the soil. And you don't ever want your leaves to be in the water or the soil when you are propagating because they will rot. But that's it. See if I can do a full it's going to grow up this trellis. I don't know if you can see that, but I will come back and show that to you when it is at the top, and it won't take long. These are also very fast growers. So anyway, that will be it for me for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I appreciate all the comments and the compliments and the support from all of my plant friends here on YouTube. Thank you again so much, and I hope to see you again. And if you will give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you know when I'm doing a new video, that would be great, and it would be very helpful to me. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye now.